Jeff Bezos is the single richest person in modern history, and his company, Amazon.com, is the second company to have reached a $1 trillion market cap. He went from being the son of a 17-year-old high school student and Cuban immigrant stepfather to now having a net worth of over $143 billion. And today we're going to learn his best advice on how you can focus on your customers. Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso, keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and every morning I give you a shot of Entspresso to help you believe in yourself more and start your day with confidence. So good morning, I believe in you, and let's do this. Jeff Bezos, tell us how to focus on our customers.
When you buy over the internet, Amazon, do you ever get the wrong order? Is anything ever wrong? What do? Do you call up and complain, or you don't have any problems?
No, I'm a customer of Amazon, hopefully like all of you in this room.
Is there one person full-time who services your account?
If there's anyone in this room who's not an Amazon customer, see me right afterwards and I'll walk you through it. It's, I have problems sometimes, and I treat them like the same way I treat a problem that I would get from a customer. My email address is famous, and I keep it, and I read it. It's jeff@amazon.com. I don't see every email that I get anymore because I get too many, but I see a lot of them. And I use my curiosity to pick out certain emails. So I'll get one from a customer, and there's a defect. We've done something wrong. Usually people are writing us, not always, but usually they're writing us because we've screwed up their order somehow. And so I'm looking at this, and for some reason, something seems a little odd about that one. And so I'll ask the team to do a case study and find real root cause, or causes, it's usually causes, real root causes, and then real root fixes. So that when you fix it, you're not fixing it for that one customer, you're fixing it for every customer. And that process is a gigantic part of what we do. So I would treat if I have a failed order or some bad customer experience, I would treat it just like that.
Most entrepreneurs are too afraid to have honest conversations with their customers, and ultimately it leads to their failure. You're afraid of negative comments, you're afraid of disappointing people, you're afraid of what they are going to say about you. But being afraid is not a good enough reason, not anymore. It leaves you playing small, knowing that you can do more, but keeping your foot on your brake. If you're afraid, you solve it by jumping in, not avoiding it. And guess what? You do scary things. So for a while now, I've had a couple people on my team who help me respond to all of the comments and emails and inboxes, and it's an amazing problem to have. It's an amazing opportunity to have so many people care about the work that I'm creating. And I thought it was important that we respond to every comment. I thought every comment that goes on this video, every comment that goes on all of my channels and all my videos, I want them to have a response. I think what a lot of YouTubers do is they create content and then they never respond. At the beginning you do, but then it becomes too time consuming. Then you spend more time responding to the comments than you do actually making content, and it becomes overwhelming. And what a lot of people fail to do is then just delegate it. It's like if somebody comes into your store, you want somebody to talk to the person. It doesn't mean it has to be you all the time, but somebody should talk to the customer and see how they're doing and ask them if they have questions or help. And so I think that just translates into YouTube comments and Instagram comments and responding to email. And so for the past number of years, I've had somebody help me manage the community and respond to your comments. And they put their name at the end because I don't want you thinking it's coming directly from me. But what I always give instructions for is, if it's a negative comment, I want to see it. If it's feedback, I want to see it. If somebody's just saying, Evan, great message, somebody's just giving a thumbs up or a heart emoji, awesome, I love it, I appreciate you, I don't need to see all those. I love the good news, it's amazing, and I always check every day to see what's kind of going on, but I don't see every positive comment. I want to see all the negative ones. I want to see all the feedback. I want to see the hate. I want to see the constructive feedback. A lot of times it's something you can learn inside of the negative feedback. Even if they're coming at you with negativity and hatred and just nastiness, maybe there's something inside that comment that you can still learn from. And so we use a software program called Pulse. And my main guy right now, Belko, is going through and getting all the comments, and he's responding to a lot, and he's such a force for good, and he's cheering people on and giving them love and support. And anytime there's a negative comment or feedback, I say flag it for me. And I go into Agorapulse every day and I look at the flag comments first. Before I get to the general comments, the flag comments to say, what needs fixing? What are people upset about? What didn't they like? Who did I profile that people are getting, upset on? And a lot of times, there's nothing we can really do about it. But sometimes there is. And it's great feedback. And those should be the people that you want to hear. Most entrepreneurs do the opposite. You want to hear all the good news and the accolades and how much you're winning and amazing. And you want to either not hear the negative feedback or pretend it didn't exist or just cut off access so that you don't see it and don't hear it, and people just leave upset and angry. And by no means are we perfect. By no means is everybody always then happy with what I'm doing, for sure. But it's always my intention that I want to be able to listen to the negative feedback and the criticism and design systems around it. And so being willing to have an honest conversation with your customers, your team, your people, your husband, your wife, your kids, your parents, right? Like, that's how you get better. That's how you build better relationships, period. Whether it's business relationships or any personal relationship in your life. Having the ability to have an honest conversation and be able to receive honest feedback, even if it hurts, even if somebody's telling you that you suck, even if it's not legitimate, even if it's tearing at your inners, that ability to have the presence of mind to be open to the feedback and not immediately taking it personal and reacting so you can actually learn from it and get better, I think is a valuable skill that will serve you for life. So I've got a 3-step process that I use, that I follow, and how we take in negative feedback that I think will help, as well as reduce your barriers to be able to do it. But before that, if you want to have more confidence, self-love, and learn from billionaires, check out my 254 series, where I send you an email every day to shift your confidence forward. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
The stress primarily comes from not taking action. If everything has to work in 2 to 3 years, then that limits what you can do.
Okay, my 3-step process to getting feedback, to getting the truth from people and not taking it personally myself. Let's do it. Step number 1 is pay attention to the feedback, especially the worst. Like I talked about of how we do it with our comments and social media using a tool like Agorapulse. You want the negative feedback. If you're doing everything yourself, you're gonna see everything yourself. Awesome. But if you have a team, even a part-time team who's managing some of the customer-facing things for you, you tell them, I want the negative feedback. Somebody's complaining, I wanna know. Somebody's upset, I wanna know. Somebody didn't get their product on time or is upset that we did that, I wanna know, tell me. Somebody is negative, nasty, I wanna know. I had one comment, somebody was so nasty. Somebody was just so nasty in the comments. And fortunately, we have such a great community. You guys are amazing. If you look at the comment section of my videos versus so many other channels, you guys are fantastic. We've built a pretty special community here on all of the channels in Believe Nation that is amazing. But you still will get the odd person who comes in, who's not part of the culture, who just spews hate. And it's probably because they just had a bad day or they're in a really nasty spot in their life right now, but they take it out on your video, on my video. So we had one really nasty comment, and Velko responded in a sarcastic way. And I saw it. And he never responds in a sarcastic way. And I said, hey, if you see a comment like this, just give it to me. If you're getting emotionally caught up in a negative way, if you feel any kind of stress bubbling up about this person who's leaving this comment, I'll eat that all day. Assign it to me. I want the hardest ones. I want the nastiest ones. I want the most negative ones. Don't worry about it. Don't let it stress you out. Go give love and give those ones to me. You want the negative feedback. Step number 2 is use this phrase, tell me why I suck. This is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I'm around people who I think I can learn from, I'll say, tell me why I suck. Tell me why I suck. Tell me why I'm the stupidest person alive right now. Why? Sounds crazy. Because I want the honest feedback. So if I look at, I go to YouTube events and often my channel is being used as one of the best practices, but I'm going with the mindset of, I suck, I need to get better, I'm here to learn, somebody here has something that they can teach me. And so even if I feel like I have all the answers for a lot of things, I know that I don't. And so if I'm talking to somebody who may have something to tell me, I may learn something from, tell me why I suck. Because what they're gonna say almost always is, well, you don't suck, dude, you don't suck, but boom, 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 right? And say they have 3 ideas for you. If they don't know you that well, they're going to couch their opinions. They're not going to tell you the full truth. They're going to tell you one of the 3 ideas, and it's probably the safest of the 3 ideas. They're going to tell you, if I look at my YouTube channel, they're going to tell you, your titles could be better. They're not going to tell you, well, you suck on camera. Because that hurts, because they don't know you, because we're afraid to hurt people's feelings. So if you lead with tell me why I suck, it gives them permission to be honest, which is what you want. You want the real truth. Now you got to be able to eat it and not be defensive and say, no, I think I'm great. Right? Thank you. I super appreciate you. You walk into that room, you walk into that conversation with the expectation of, I want to be beat up, because they're not beating me down. They're actually lifting me up with great feedback. So you go in with the tell me why I suck when you're ever around somebody who has something to teach you. And then step number 3 is over deliver like crazy. Almost every situation with a customer is savable if you go back and make it up to them. The intention for you wasn't to screw them over, right? If you made a mistake with a customer, you billed them double, your product never showed up, whatever it is, you said something that was offensive that you didn't mean to, right? Like, you're not in business to try to screw people over, right? If you were, you're probably not part of this community. So your desire is to help, right? You're built to serve. You want to help. You're trying to serve people. You're going to make tons of mistakes on that journey. So many mistakes. I think every situation is savable if you just show the heart, show the effort, and over-deliver like crazy. Some of my best customers, my best connections, my best relationships came out of somebody feeling like I didn't do a good enough job. Like, not that I intentionally screwed them over, but that they just didn't get a result. And that destroys me so much that I over-deliver so that then they just love us. I'm mentoring Jeremy right now, who has a YouTube business and grew to 6 figures inside of 1 year to help people build their YouTube channels, consulting. And he had one client who wasn't happy, wasn't doing the work, wasn't getting the results, blamed Jeremy for everything, blamed me for everything, writes an email, says she's gonna sue everybody, we're charlatans and just rip off, and copied her lawyer in and expect to go to court. Jeremy's freaking out, never seen anything like this before. I said, dude, don't worry, this is totally savable. This is totally savable. This is not a big problem. Now, if you just leave it alone, it's a giant problem, right? The last thing you want to do is deal with somebody's lawyer, especially US lawyers. They're I'm Canadian, very litigious. But this is totally savable. Dude, this is totally savable. And let's just make it up to her. What does she need? How do we solve this for her? Right? And we did. And part of it was giving her, she asked for the last month refund where nothing was happening. We gave her an even bigger refund than what she was asking for. Gave her more help on the channel, what she should do next, and gave her a roadmap. Offered to help promote her new book when it comes out. Giving her an interview. There's lots of things that I wrote back in an email. And then she wrote back to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I kind of freaked out. I've been screwed over by other people before, and now she said my default is I just lawyer up. Whenever there's anything even small, I just lawyer up. That's her default now. Think of why she's acting like this. She's been screwed over so many times that now this is her process. And now it's great. Now I mean, she's not an ongoing client because she hasn't committed to her YouTube channel, but there's no hard feelings, right? If anything, it's left a better taste in her mouth. And so it's solvable. From somebody who's going to sue you and thinks you're a rip-off artist and a charlatan, to now somebody who has referred some business, has saying good things. I think almost everything is solvable if you have the right intent and you over-deliver like crazy. Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, who can you go to and ask for feedback and say, tell me why I suck? Who are you going to ask for feedback from? Let me know. Put it down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, you're still here watching, and you promise, you commit that you're going to do something about it. We take action here in Believe Nation. You're promising to take action in your life today based off of what you learned here in this video. I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag Believe down in the comments as well.
We've got a lot of work to do because we've got a lot of service centers and charge stations to construct. So mostly it's like we're trying to build our service and charge infrastructure as fast as possible. And I know this, like some of the customers who have ordered a car, they're not in the major cities, so they're a little unhappy with us because we are delaying delivery of their car. In fact, I'm going to apologize to some of them personally and explain the reason we are delaying delivery is because we really want them to have a good experience. But if they're too far from a service center and the charging is not sorted out, then they will not have a good experience. So we're going to delay the cars just for a few months to make sure that they have a good experience.
If you want to know Jeff Bezos' thoughts on how to take risks, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
One of the precursors, one of the foundational things to being able to take risk is to have had some kind of support from somebody.